I think this mask was designed to fit over a bare head, but since we're going to be sliding this fabric over top of a face shell, I thought it would be a good idea to scale it up slightly. After I finished putting together the pattern, I just transferred it onto some black fabric, of course. Now we need a way to transfer those webbing lines onto the fabric. So for that I used a softbox light and I transferred the lines using a piece of chalk which erases very easily with water. Now obviously not everyone has a softbox light, so another way you could do this is by shining a light underneath a glass table, or if you really had no other way of doing it, I would probably just tape this to a window and do it that way. For the webbing lines, I'm of course going to use puffy paint, and this is optional, but if you want you can also add about 10% liquid latex, which supposedly makes the webbing less likely to crack, but again I think that's kind of optional. Also I'm using a pastry bag here to squeeze the paint out because it gives me a little bit more control, but that's also entirely optional and you could just squeeze the paint straight out of the applicator bottle. Once the puffy paint completely dried, I took a wet paintbrush and used that to get rid of all the excess chalk. Now in order to make it easier for me to sew, I just flipped over the mask and marked out all the edges of the puffy paint lines, which tells me exactly where I need to sew. You want to do your best here to match up the edge of one side with the edge of the other side, and it won't be the end of the world if you don't sew it perfectly. I know I definitely didn't line it up that well, but you want to try your best. Also, I added an invisible zipper to this mask as well. This was the first invisible zipper I ever sewed in my entire life, so I'm not even going to pretend to know what I'm doing here. Just check the description box below. I'll leave a link to a tutorial video for how to sew an invisible zipper because I winged the whole thing, so you definitely shouldn't watch me do it. Here I just painted the edge of the eye sockets red, and that way it blends in a little bit better with the lenses, and the black part of the mask won't just stick out like a sore thumb when you look at the mask from the side. After that, I just added some sponges on the inside of the mask to make it a little bit more comfortable to wear. Also, I just slid a rubber band over the cables just to keep it all nice and tidy around the neck area so it doesn't get tangled or anything. And now we can slide the fabric over the mask. Once the mask is centered on the face shell, I can go ahead and carefully cut out the eye holes. After that, I glue on the lenses. And I used a combination of hot glue, super glue, and duct tape to attach the fabric mask to the face shell. Finally, I just touched up any areas that I missed with some more puffy paint.